Hey everyone, it's David here. Welcome back to Republic Labs. BTC is at 110k and ETH is sub 4k as we record today. We will share a bit of our market thoughts and then we can talk about some opportunities worth diving deep into during this consolidation period. We'll talk about MetaDAO, Monad, Mega ETH, Tempo, and Meli. Let's go. Throughout this cycle, so far we haven't seen crazy wild boom and bust moves like in previous cycles, and there are arguments to make that this time is really different, and the 4-year cycle isn't a thing anymore. Do you guys think we continue to be bullish into 2026, or is this the last quarter of the bull cycle? And currently there are many scenarios for both bullish and bearish potential, like gold profit to rotate into BTC, 401k in the US to allocate into crypto, $7 trillion in money market fund to lose yield with rate cuts, or fresh spots to ETF inflows. And then another one like $304 billion in stablecoins, or on the other hand, we could see a crack in the US economy, AI boom and bust, and then weaker on-chain momentum, or even just Donald Trump's tweeting what he tweets. And perhaps many people were wrecked for far larger sums than people realize in the recent liquidation cascade, and less greater fools in crypto to buy your bags, but institutions will continue to confiscate or own or seize Bitcoin, whether that be BlackRock or US government, etc. But despite all of this, gold stuff is pretty interesting, even though the DXY dollar index not really that weak considering how much gold is ripping. This explanation is pretty interesting. If you see it on Twitter, maybe that has something to do with the African mines, who knows. But on the other side of the world is that AI capex for data centers, etc. is pretty outrageous. Like, there are many arguments whether a bubble is forming, whether it's a small bubble, big bubble, short-term or long-term one. But I think things will be fine. Good buying opportunities are on the way for strong companies that are not stupid with their balance sheet, and we're still very bullish on crypto from Rails, infrastructures, blockchain, consumer perspective. Like stablecoins, etc. are in many cases positive sum for everyone, and crypto will continue to tear down or reshape many incumbents like banking, payment, infra, and perhaps move towards other areas. US versus China is obviously a major headline right now, but I'm optimistic. Many things right now, despite the doom and gloom, and we will be here regardless. The US midterms are on the horizon, so expect pranks. Headline risk is higher than ever, of course, but I find that you need to just pick your spots that you are fine with holding through FUD. And this will be fun because it's just on time with the return of Up-Only TV with Kobe and Ledger. Coinbase just acquired the NFT for $25 million, meaning the Up-Only TV will be returning for another season. Christmas came early for me. Exciting. MetaDAO has been a long-time favorite of some of us at Republic. Disclaimer, one of them is me, and I have been following the project from the early days, and we have wrote deep dives last year, talk about in a couple of Republic Rupiah episodes, and recently MetaDAO has seen a resurgence, and that's after they have done the token split, announcing new features and some of the successes from their ICOs, a lot of the upcoming ones too. MetaDAO is moving on from the full Futarchy narrative to ownership coins, and it still runs on Futarchy, but the takeaway here is that by focusing on ICOs, where there is no dual token or equity structure, the race is all public, and all of the revenue goes to the token. We're moving past just memes or valueless token to create actual product of value. MetaDAO is very different from something like Pump Fund. MetaDAO is focusing on creating revenue-driving business on-chain, while Pump Fund is more in the streaming, meme coins, content creator market. And they have launched the MetaDAO AMM, which now takes 0.25% fees on all swaps, and currently recent MetaDAO ICOs are the only user of it, but all of the new ICOs will use it, along with moving Meta token to the AMM itself. The recent RA ICO had $155 million commitment, with the total raise being $3 million, and so the rest gets refunded back, and that just shows how much interest there are in funding these MetaDAO projects. There are numerous upcoming ICOs in the pipeline, which, if successful, will reinforce Meta's viability as well as generate fees in perpetuity from the AMM. And the community has had some good discussion throughout VC's proposal to buy $6 million of Meta at a discount. First proposal failed, bunch of thinking on how to improve, and then second proposal passed. And a couple new investors are now backing MetaDAO. MetaDAO is one of those projects where they're actually trying to build real projects with tokens that aren't memes or rug to the equity, and they're finally getting some momentum after grinding about 2 years, and it's one to keep paying attention to. MetaDAO is becoming the legit non-memes token launchpad on Solana, and it's changing the way money is raised on-chain. Pretty bullish, currently unoccupied space, and this is the new meta, no pun intended. As Mehdi puts it, the Solana Colosseum flywheel is now spinning hot, and the internet capital markets are now the people's capital markets. This is different than Launchcoin and Belief app that was, a trend just a few moments ago. Monad mainnet is coming. So far, Monad has high-quality open-source code base with high-frequency trading optimizations, public audits, clear documents. So they are tech-first, with full transparency, no unsubstantiated claims, and you can build a Monad validator as cheap as building a gaming PC, which in this case costs us about the same with the latest iPhone 17 Pro Max. High-performance systems focus on decentralization, running continuously in testnet with hundreds of globally distributed validators at 10,000 transactions per second. Monad BFT consensus features 400 millisecond block times, 800 millisecond finality, parallel execution, and MonadDB for efficient database storage. Monad testnet upgrade adds staking also, among other changes, and you can see in this very tab. And that the other changes are RPC improvements, performance, and networking. The very first EVM blockchain to ever does this. Interconnected smart community, influential crypto natives, an ecosystem of promising startup founders with over $100 million in funding pre-mainnet, and founder support through Delta V, Monad Residency, Monad Momentum, and many more programs. And many innovative apps that are native on Monad, and many existing EVM apps are going to be deployed on day one Monad mainnet. So there are so much more to come. Position yourself accordingly to this ecosystem. Are you excited? The next opportunity comes from MegaETH. They are going to conduct public ICO on Kobe's Sona platform, more so like software. But MegaETH buys back about 4.75% of supply from early investors as they gear up for this Sona ICO. They repurchased stake, and that includes company equity and token warrants. The terms of the deal remain undisclosed, but was completed at a valuation above the seed round. So there is an assumption that this way, MegaETH can raise more to the ICO without having to sell more tokens from the overall existing supply. Pankrat Feist, a longtime Ethereum researcher and co-developer, announced that he is joining Tempo, the stablechain project backed by Stripe and Paradigm. Tempo raises $500 million, valuing it at a $5 billion valuation. And the timeline is now pretty much full of Ethereum existential crisis on Twitter, and then surfaced a letter from Peter Zilagi of Geth, which he sent to Ethereum Foundation leadership in a year and a half ago. And his total compensation, he said here, for his first 6 whole years at Ethereum, with ETH going from 0 to $450 billion total market cap, was only $625,000 in total. 6 years of work, before taxes, 0 incentives. And he's earned that other roles at the EF remain significantly below his numbers. And this is a perfect breeding ground, he said, for perverse incentives, conflicts of interest, and eventual protocol capture. So to paraphrase Vitalik, he said, if someone is not complaining that they are paid too little, then they are paid too much. And the EF is paying people to leave. Top developers should be paid like pro athletes. EF is highly underfunded, and something needs to change. Many disagreements with much of the EF leadership in the past, and to be fair, the new executive directors are now steering things in the right direction, but there's only so much they can do. Lastly, if you can imagine Poly Marketplace Pump Fund, that is Melee, a permissionless prediction market platform with 100x returns, and on Melee anyone can make a market about anything. Traders make more money, creators monetize their audience, and Melee Alpha is now live. See if you have made it into Wave 1, and through our Alpha and into Beta, more features will be released. The first market will launch on Tuesday, and join the Telegram and Discord if you want to stay up to date. So this episode has been packed with many things. Feel free to rewatch it again or ask some questions in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share it if you may. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Cheers.